Why, hello there. Welcome. I'm Couple, and you found yourself at A Couple Books. Today, I would like to take a moment of your time to discuss A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. You ready? Let's get started. So, welcome to a magical world where we send our children to be eaten by monsters at a boarding school because that's good parenting. No, actually, the parents send their kids to this special boarding school called the Scholomance in order to receive a magical education and hone their skills during their formative years of teenagery. I'm sure it's also not coincidental that these are the same years that they're probably all brats. So, anyways, besides for that, this school is located in the Void, which is like pretty scary, to be honest with y'all. The Void is basically this dark abyss where nothing is, but like everything is at the same time. No, but like actually there's nothing there and you can fall in and it's horrible. And in this abyss, all the parents generations back built this school to protect their children. Why would you need to protect your children, you may ask? Like, why can't you just keep them at home? Well, let me answer that question for you. In this world, there's these horrible creatures that feed off of something that magical users have. In the real world, the children are extremely susceptible to these monsters and don't really have any ways of defending themselves from a young age up until they're adults. And in order to learn and hone your abilities and to be protected, you have to go to the Scholomance. Otherwise, you will probably die. Now, you would think, oh, goody, now they're all safe at the Scholomance. No, you're wrong. They will also probably die at the school. So, there's really no benefit, but there's a marginally better chance that you will survive if you go to this school. So, naturally, everyone sends their children to this school. Anyone that comes from a magical family or anyone that learns about their magical abilities and isn't eaten by horrible monsters will probably most likely go to this school. This school that's built in this metaphysical place has thousands of students in it, and it's kind of a weird like Hunger Games situation where they're kind of all on their own. Well, not really kind of. They are all on their own. There's no teachers. There's no parents. You're locked in there until graduation day. And on graduation day, you take everything you've learned and you go into the graduation hall. Now, this graduation hall is not like any other hall in school. You may ask why. Well, I will accept your question and I will answer it now. The graduation hall is filled with these monsters that want to eat you and absorb your magical aura, or as the book calls it, mania, I think is how you would pronounce it, but that's unimportant. In order to get through the 4 years and get to graduation hall, you will probably die. Now, how will you die, you may ask? Well, these creatures sometimes sneak through the cracks in the school's foundation, and they sneak in there and they get underneath their beds, they get in cabinets, they get in chests, they get underneath tables, they're in the air vents. So literally you can be eating lunch and then one will just drop out of the air vent and eat you. It's pretty intense. So when I said Hunger Games, I wasn't kidding. Kids die all the time in this school, just like going about their day-to-day business. And there's literally nowhere there to defend them except for the other older students who are also all running screaming from the terrifying monster, as the terrifying monster wants to eat all of them. Now, let me introduce you to our main characters. Elle, who is a angsty teenage girl with an attitude issue and an affinity for super destructive spells. And not like handgun destructive, I'm talking like super volcano explosion destruction. And then Orion, the star pupil of the school, family comes from a very important magical family and is everyone's favorite guy. And his affinity is for battle magic. So he's out there fighting these monsters time and time again. Now, our story gets started with Orion, our star boy, saving our main character Elle from a monster attack in her own dorm room. And from there on, we go on this wonderful journey with them as they explore the hallways and they explore the school and they try and get ready to survive their last 2 years of school. In terms of things I really loved about this story, it was amazing that Naomi Novik decided to start this book in the junior year, because we were able to cut off all that boring world building stuff that happens in the first 2 years or first year of sporting school in these magical worlds. So it was exciting to get jumping right into the action, and it was extremely character focused, which can be a positive thing. It was absolutely wonderful learning about Elle and seeing her fight off these crazy creatures and have her own internal dialogues with herself in her sassy, snarky tone, and as well express those sassy, snarky tones in her own dialogue with her fellow classmates. Her challenge in this school was to find a friend or make a few friends so that she can survive, because guess what? If you go and graduate by yourself and don't have teammates, you will probably die in the graduation hall. So your 4 years is not just about making yourself stronger at magic, but it's also about making friends, which is just a beautiful metaphor for life. And Orion really just wants to be her friend, and yet she still is a jerk to him, but he seems to like it, so we'll make do. As well, on top of that, another thing I absolutely loved about this book was the characters themselves. I really liked Elle. I thought she was funny. I thought she was snarky. She was annoying, but like in a good way. It was a fun time. Orion was annoying, period. So we'll move on from him. The other thing I liked about this book was its metaphor. The author was really trying to push the fact that the school was super diverse, and I gotta commend her for her efforts. It was not a whitewashed school as far as I could see. Well, hear, read, whichever action verb you prefer. So that was absolutely wonderful to see from her, and the metaphors that she interwoven about elitists and class and all those things was absolutely wonderful and very fitting for the times we live in. Now, in terms of cons about this book, one con would be the massive info dumping that took place. Since we're starting off in the junior year, there isn't really all this wonderful time to explain the world and explain how it works. So what we must do? We must have massive info dumps go on inside our main character's head for us, the reader. And while that is interesting because it's all interesting stuff, it kind of took away from the book. Other things that were very aggravating about this book were things such as, I said before, Orion, just Orion in general. He was just an annoying character. While Naomi Novik did her best to really have a diverse set of characters, it also was kind of too much sometimes, where it was like not even natural, and you could even like see it in your mind's eye because she was just like pushing so hard to make her like super not subtle point about like class and race and racism. So while I can commend her efforts in doing it, she could have done it a little more flawlessly. But overall, this book was fantastic. It was a fast read. It was an enjoyable read. I was interested. The creatures were fun to learn about. The whole magic system was really intense. And I will leave most of that, if not all of it, for you to discover on your own. So I'm giving A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik a 4.5 out of 5 stars. And my reasoning for the 0.5 is simply because the info dumping. But she has set up a wonderful world for us to return to, full of very interesting characters and a very interesting magic system. I hope you're excited to read this book. I'm excited for the second book. Pick it up. Let me know what your thoughts are. Keep the comment section down below, spoiler free, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave one of your comments. Okay? Bye everyone. This has been Couple. Thank you for coming to A Couple Books. See you soon. Bye.